Greetings. Frederick Riddle here with another episode of Christian News and Views. This is episode 213, and this is Wednesday. I got a long article here. I'm only going to read parts of it. The dueling summits over the fate of Ukraine held in Anchorage and then Washington over the last few days yielded dramatically contrasting results for Russian President Vladimir Putin, indicating, at least for now, he overplayed his hand in attempting to woo the United States to his view of the conflict. Despite the opportunity for a peace deal, Putin's resistance to compromise and his potentially misplaced confidence in a military victory over Ukraine risked missing the chance to capitalize on his warm vibe with President Donald Trump, while dragging out a war that is killing thousands every week and undermining Russia's economy and its global strategic position. Since the summits, Russia has continued to throw obstacles in the way of any measures recommended to move the process forward, suggesting Putin is not willing to move at the same pace as Trump. On Wednesday, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made clear that Russia expects to have a veto over any security arrangements Europe and the US come up with to defend Ukraine from future attacks. The risks are still growing over Putin's recalcitrance. Putin knows that in the last weeks, he's been facing a crisis. He sensed the danger. The red alarm went off, a Kremlin insider said, before the summit when Trump was still threatening tougher sanctions, and Putin realized he needed to mend ties. He really wants to stop the war, but he needs to stop it in a way that looks like a victory. Putin did buy time and stave off sanctions after he persuaded Trump on Friday to abandon his pressure for a ceasefire and instead pursue the Russian preference for a comprehensive peace deal that could take years to negotiate, allowing Russia to fight on without the risk of tough new U.S. sanctions. But Trump's subsequent genial White House meeting Monday with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and the European showed the perils for Putin facing determined European backing for Ukraine's fight to remain independent with a strong army. The summit marked a setback in Putin's decades-long goal to gain dominion over Ukraine and in his efforts to peel the U.S. away from Europe. And I'm going to skip down some more here. Like I said, it was a large article. It closes off with this. Meanwhile, Russia is confident that it will win on the battlefield and doesn't really need a peace process, said Reynolds, a position that is not likely to endear it to the U.S. administration hoping for a foreign policy win. They basically have two theories, he said. One is that the West gives up and walks away, and the other is that the political center in Kiev collapses under pressure. But neither one of those things is fully under Russia's control. So here's my take on all this. It wasn't a bad article altogether. And at least they kept the opinions somewhat moderated. I think looking back, it is proper to say Putin overplayed his hand. I think they're correct there. If he truly believes he will have a military victory, then, in my opinion, he's the one who is delusional. I mean, you have this vast superiority in numbers, and they've gobbled up. I shouldn't use the word gobbled. It really wasn't that fast. They have managed to take some of the territory, the majority of the territory that they've been trying to do, but it's taken 3 years to get there. They've lost thousands of men and possibly women as well in the battle, not only of their own people, but China and North Koreans as well. They've lost tons of military equipment that they don't they really can't afford to lose. So how the only way he thinks he's got a military victory, he's being fed lies by his own troops. He doesn't have a clear picture, or he's mentally deranged, which is also possible. Whether he's fully or just partially, it's just not logical to see a victory coming, even if they were to able to um, bring about what they're talking about, the collapse of Kiev. There would be a guerrilla movement going on that would persist for years, decades, and may eventually do what happened to Russia in Afghanistan, force them out. So you have to. I don't think you can be too conservative in this. I don't think you can just say, "Oh, it's not going to work. He's going to win." He's being delusional. Europe can't afford him to have a victory or even a stalemate. And truth be told, I doubt if America can either. In the end, Putin failed, though he thinks he succeeded. So that's it for today. Now, if you enjoy listening to my take on things, then why not subscribe if you haven't already done so? It is growing, and I appreciate that. And so I just thank you for that, those of you who have. But if you haven't done it yet, I encourage you to do so. I always try to inform you, encourage you, and inspire you. That's my goal. You decide whether I've done that. One of the things I always try to do is give you something to chew on, think about, maybe change your mind about. If you disagree with me, go ahead and feel free to comment, keep it civil, but go ahead and I would be really good if you disagreed, give me why. Same thing if you agree, give me why. And we kind of have a conversation there. Well, that's it for today. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.